Well, hello everybody. I've had just an incredible day. Um, America, where where dreams are made, and folks, I've planned a trip to the U.S. I wish to do a green card, the visa, the works, and work on what's called an E2. That was my plan. Work my way through America, 3 year program to get full citizenship. Well, today, folks, that's all changed for me. Changed literally in America where dreams can come true. I told you all, a lot of people saw my post. I said I'll be writing a paper, and I've tagged Benjamin Eble. He's at the 51st State, an American. My friend Marcia from the Trump train, she's an American too. I tag you both because something miraculous has happened to me from the United States of America. And I opened my email at the end of the day, the working day today, and guess what I find, folks? An invite in academia, what's called an E1. In immigration and green cards, that's about the best one you can get unless you have a whole lot of dinero, something I don't have. I'm an average citizen. But the United States of America says if you have the intellectual property in science or in academics that you can bring to America, we can upgrade you to an E1. And folks, I've been upgraded to an E1. Me, a Boilermaker welder from northern Alberta, somebody who probably never would have ever been able to achieve something like that. It seems in American academia, I'm invited for March to speak on a weekend event to many, not only American academics in the field of law and in constitutionalism, but world academics. Should I accept? And I'm going to accept. Of course, I'd be crazy not to. Can you imagine an Alberta boy, Dave Bjorkman, just an average Joe, speaking to the greatest legal minds in the world live in the USA, giving a presentation on my works, which, folks, if I was to win that, not only now am I going to get the upgraded E1 immigration green card should I pursue, but if I win this publication in the United States of America, I write this publication in the US, transferring the intellectual property to America for myself. Do you know what would happen? I'll become an American citizen. Believe it or not, there's many ways to do it. The last thing I would ever believe is that I'd be invited to the prestige of the highest American institutions and even be allowed to submit a paper, let alone now it looks like I can get a green card that way, a start. And if I was to win, if I was to be published in American institution journals on this paper that I'm going to give regardless in March, folks, I'm already halfway there. I'm not saying I'm going to win. I don't know. I'm not even a very good writer. But should I win this, I would be an American citizen that easy. No money, no pain, no starting a $500,000 American business, hiring 10 American employees. I wouldn't have to do any of that. Just this. Can you imagine? Can you imagine? Already the green card is a terrific, monumental achievement for little old Alberta boy. And I think, for those liberals, conservatives, and NDPers who beat the snot out of me in 2019, I think I'm going to get the last laugh after all. It's a tremendous feat, you guys. I was so excited today with my fellow Boilermakers at work, and I'm like, I was in the lunchroom, and guys, I read off the email and the invite and the green card that I can use as an application on an E1. I'm a welder from Alberta. I mean, I went to university. I did economics, but I'm nowhere near a doctorate level. But it seems those at that level wish to have me participate, and it seems that dreams can come true, and that America wants little old me to give a little presentation, and I'm going to do that. But that's not what this video is about. It's got me tickled pink. I'm pretty excited. I'm going to call my parents about it. I haven't answered yet. I haven't answered and made it official, but I will. I just want to tell all my followers and friends and those who are going to watch and share the video. I did that. I did that. It's going to be done. It's amazing. I'm still kind of like, whoa, unbelievable, unbelievable. I was prepared to work my way across America, no problem, and go through all that fear and anxiety, but it seems this one I don't mind doing, because if I have a chance to win something or be published in the States in the law journals, can you imagine? Can you imagine? It's incredible. Just think of all the academics I may get to present to, and I may in fact win something and get put in a journal. Can you imagine? Dave Bjorkman, Edmonton, Alberta, little old hillbilly from Alberta gets into a big journal publication. You just never know. I'm going to try. At least I'll get the green card. I mean, hey, an E1 visa. Wow. Wow, unbelievable. For those who've tried or have gone through the process, that's an amazing feat. So I'm going to accept, that's for sure. Now, on to what I want to talk about. True North, you guys did a publication. You've all seen the East Indian woman that does the True North presentations on Trudeau, on the government in Canada. And you know what? They screwed up. They screwed up and they leaked something out. And it upsets me with conservatives. You all heard me say conservatives or liberals or Democrats, the Democrats, New Democrats, Democrats. I call them all three of those words because for me, in all of what I've learned and what I've researched and gone through, it's all the crown. These parties may have differences, they may have differences in platforms, but ultimately they're all crown sworn, they're all crown power. And there's something that I've learned that now I know, that whether it's Republican under Donald Trump, whether it's Democrat under Joe Biden, whether it's Vladimir Putin and his Russians, and whether it's Xi Jinping for China, folks, I want you to know something. There's been a tremendous lie sold and served up, goes through the UN, like a lot of people are questioning. And I seen it with True North yesterday, and it's why a lot of the work I'm doing and what I'm going to do has to go through. And this is a major lie that all of you at home right now could pick up your phones or get on your computers and you can Google after to find the validity of this. And this is where economics comes in to great focus here. There's a lie from UK and France. It goes quite globally, and it's 52 nations. I often talk about a war on America. Well, there's also a war on Russia, and there's also a war on China, and this has been going on for a very, very long time. The world pre-UN, pre-World War II, and the 5 victorious allies was a world of the League of Nations. That was absolutely run by the United Kingdom forever and a day for many, many, many years, lot more years than the UN itself. Now, Russia, China, and USA are republics, but they're special kind of republics. One, they never ever bounced into monarchies. They never did that. The history of those countries isn't that way, meaning they had no advancements in colonialism. They were not willing participants or ever got heavily involved in colonialism. You can look at all narratives, you can look at all academic research and publications worldwide, generally by the best institutions. And folks, don't take my word for it, that is the truth. 3 republics, 2 of which, Russia and USA, are federalist, pure federalist, meaning they have a division of powers. They have a clearly federal government, and in their regions, their sub-states, each one of those regions and sub-states has their own, very own division of powers codified in constitutionalism, meaning written constitutions. Now, UK's never had a constitution codified. They have a tremendous amount of customary crown law. They're a constitutional monarchy, uncodified, meaning not written. They write it as they go, and they keep a tremendous amount back from the public. Now, France became a republic after World War II. Remember, everybody, they were decimated in World War II. They still have colonial jewels around the world that they still hold on as treasures, collections. And yes, this is a colored world of people, not whites, not traditionally. There are First Peoples involved here. Absolutely destroyed all over the world. Black, brown, yellow, we can go on and on. That is the mark of the colonials. You will not find that in history with China, USA, or Russia. That's an absolute truth, contrary to anything you've been told. And even some of the narratives made today, you will not find that truth. When you really look at the history, you'll find it's just not true, and you won't find America, China, or Russia participating in any kind of substantial way to that. Any little histories through wars that they were given or handed over through annexation by other nations and then handing them over to US or Russia was quickly let go. It didn't take very long at all for any of those countries to do that. Now, what I'm getting into with True North and the narratives of the Commonwealth, folks, it's so very important to understand. It's for those leaders of those three countries, two being the left and right, that is the United States of America. For Donald Trump, Joe Biden, obviously Republicans, Democrats. What needs to be understood here is it's not the traditional 17 countries encompassing what was France and UK in their narratives. While those countries have moved on, the Commonwealth has not, and neither has the royal family. You may look at UK Parliament and they have moved on, not the royal family. This includes and is not limited to India. India is not free from the Commonwealth or the royal family. Now, they are a republic. Yes, they did get independence, but they were not dismembered of the crown colonial power. To prove this point right now, anyone can Google search, grab your phone, and look this up. This is something USA, China, and Russia are not awoke to. If you want to use the term awoke, and I use the term woke from the American Webster Dictionary. I did a little piece on this because National Post is moving very quick to discredit and change your mindset. I want you all to look this up on Google. When you look at the absolute trade details from India to USA, 320 million population with India, you will find that trading arrangement is only $81 billion. Per person per capita, the largest lion's share in the world today is still the United Kingdom with India. This also goes for India and China. This also goes for India and Russia. All three of those superpowers do not trade in any substantial per capita relationship in any deals, none whatsoever, with India, not even since independence in 1948. This is not an accident. You can go look at those economics and you will be blown away to know that UK still has the overwhelming commanding presence over India, 1.4 billion people per person per capita. France too, per person per capita, lion's share of India. Control. We can go on and on through not 17 nations, folks, 52. They don't get this from UK Parliament or French Parliament. They get it from the Crown colonial powers, kept over forever and a day since, in fact, prior to World War II, because it's never been dismembered from any of the 52 states. If you haven't picked up your phones and read the Commonwealth Charter 2012, it cements even more powers of the royal family and their narratives against USA, China, and Russia forevermore. They're very powerful now. This is not Prime Minister of UK. This isn't President of France. This is entirely the monarchy structure of the royal family forever and a day. Clearly, all those 52 countries to hold their crown autocracies in whatever written codified instructions are left was taken from the royal family, never dismembered, and handed over to those countries' politicians. Pure crown autocratic power. This is what Donald Trump, Joe Biden, Vladimir Putin, and Xi Jinping fail to understand. That is the whole truth of it. And you can see it in all the trading relationships and arrangements. If you want to look even more detailed to prove exactly what I'm saying in real time, in our time right now, to prove it and put it in all kinds of economic color and perspective, COVID-19 vaccination rollouts. There you will see exactly which countries do business with who, regardless if they had a successful vaccination program or not. They still autocratically went that way. Whether you believe in vaccines or not is not the issue. It's how many countries dealt with Russia, how many countries dealt with USA, how many countries dealt with China, how many countries dealt with Britain and France, regardless of a successful vaccination rollout or not. And there is the color in clear reality, in supply and value chains, real economics that shouldn't make sense. The only way they could make sense is when you take the crown power vested constitutionally and codified in all 52 of those countries, and then it clearly paints a portrait attached to the royal family of the UK and France's old system. And you find it there. Follow the money, follow the crown codification in all 52 countries. This is what's missing for Joe Biden, Donald Trump, so Democrats, Republicans alike, Xi Jinping of China, and absolutely Vladimir Putin of Russia. When you start to look at the world as it really is, the corruption of the UN, the transformation of the Atlantic Charter in 1941, and then as it's written royally, matching the Commonwealth Charter, written by Charles III, stamped off by his mother in 2012, signed by all 52 nations. You will find all the socialism forever present. You will find all the Green New Deal. You'll find all the sustainable development goals that goes back to 1993, and again, chased to all 52 of those nations with crown customary law, codified absolutely in crown reality in their constitutions. You blink, you miss it. For USA, they don't translate the terms the same. Oxford versus Webster, you don't translate the same. Russia, the Lexigalos, they translate the same way as USA. They don't translate it like Oxford. They don't understand customary crown law. China, I have no idea. To be honest, I have no idea. I have a real hard time with Chinese. This is reality. This is truth. I'm going to get into much, much more coming on in the United States of America. I guess we'll see in March, folks, as I go on with my intellectual prowess and see where I get. Will I win a publication? Who knows? But I will get my E1. I will get the highest green card you can get. Pretty excellent. Thanks, everybody. Share. It's critical. It's huge. It should be shared. People should know. Americans should know. Russians should know. Chinese should know. And we should all know where things come from in this world today. Where does the corruption come from? Where do these billionaires get their ideas? Where are they really attached to? Who's really running the show? And you will find it. It's all there, all credible, real, and verifiable. Take the publications I just shared with you, chase them down, and you will find the truth. Commonwealth Charter 2012, Atlantic Charter 1941 versus Atlantic Charter 2021. Take a look at Joseph Stalin and the promises made with King George VI and Sir Winston Churchill, Yalta Conference. USA and Russia did not enter World War II until much later in the game. Promises had to be made. And remember, folks, France was decimated by colonial Germany. They wiped them out. Where did the Nazis come from? They're colonial objects from all colonial countries. Who is their best example? Where did they learn to be like that? From the other monarchies. The most successful, most brutal monarchy, the British Empire, the former UK as it was. They may not be that way, at least not in Prime Minister and in Parliament, but they most certainly are in royal family and royal family power over the 52 nations. It's something USA, Russia, and China don't understand, don't see, and it's right in front of their face. That's my video. Bye now.